Okay, I'd like to go ahead and call the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Wednesday, January 28th. January 28th. And with that, I'm going to talk about the roll list. I'm here. Member Espinoza? Here. Member Georgina?
Here.
Member Sneed?
Here.
Member Bill?
Here.
And student member David Nunez?
Here.
Okay, everybody's here. Order ready to go. Tonight's meeting is being digitally recorded. I know it's not a surprise to anybody, but I have to say that. And the first item, real item on our agenda tonight is the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Anthony Salazar. Where's Anthony? Oh, there you are. Hide behind me.
I feel like we should clap for Anthony's outfit. He's always sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Good evening, everyone. Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we are on to our next item, changes to the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Okay. We'll go ahead and approve the agenda as is. Have a motion and a second, please.
I'll motion. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from member Espinoza and a second from member Sneed. Student member Munoz?
Yes.
I'm sorry. And the rest of us, I'll say aye together.
Aye.
I heard everybody. Okay, so the motion carries on the first item of recognition coming up, item 7. Temple City Council PTA Honorary Service Award recipients. I'm gathering that Maria will be taking this. No? Amanda. I'm sorry. Amanda.
Matt, we can't hear you.
Oh,
Speak louder.
that's unusual. It's on.
Where would you like it?
Well, that way you can speak to them. I know you're staying with the board.
Is this okay? Would I do this?
Whatever Jerry says.
Is this okay? Is that better, Mr. Jambazian? Can you all hear me? Is it on?
It's working.
Maria.
Oh, can you hear me now?
You actually have to push it forward. If not, it's not in the camera view.
Oh,
Yeah, so she has to be on camera.
That way, okay, yeah.
okay.
There you go.
How's that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
And you can hear me? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Good evening, everybody. My name is Amanda Roblock, and I am the president of Temple City Council PTA. And I'm really happy to be here with you tonight. Our PTA Honorary Service Award program celebrates and recognizes our many volunteers who contribute countless hours of work and effort to make a positive impact in the lives of all children and families in our community. Whether serving on a PTA board at one school site or multiple sites, organizing, planning, and executing events, chairing programs, or contributing in countless other ways, we are deeply grateful for their commitment and service. The PTA also proudly recognizes the extraordinary efforts of administrators, teachers, and staff who consistently go above and beyond in support of our students and schools. Additionally, it is important to acknowledge the organizations and clubs that have made a meaningful and lasting impact within the Temple City community. Each year, we are privileged to honor these individuals and organizations, all of whom are selected through a thoughtful nomination process. We hope that you will consider joining us on February 13th for the Founders Day dinner, where we honor our Honorary Service Award winners. Tonight, we're here to announce our honorees for this year's Honorary Service Awards. Our first award winner is Pete Kelly for Honorary Service Award.
Ever seen me dressed? Am I looking at Jared?
I
didn't know you looked like that, Pete.
Actually, you can stand right
You're having weight
All right.
here. And I think at the end, probably you'll all take pictures.
Okay, good.
So
Elias told me I just got off the boat, so.
Pete, you have to listen to me say nice things about you.
Oh, geez. Oh my God, I'm not good at that.
So Pete can be seen walking around our various TCUSD campuses, sporting his tool belt, ready for the day's work.
Absolutely.
Lately, he's been seen working at our new TCHS athletic field, doing one thing or another as our skilled maintenance staff? Yes, okay. Pete has continually gone above and beyond for students in all grade levels. Pete has offered many hours to support programs such as VAPA, Grad Night, ASB, Oak ASB, TCHS Sports, Ramrodders, district and city partnership events, and many more. His pride for a strong community is not only viewed but felt with the support he provides.
Hi, and I'm Maria Garner, here to present for Anthony Salazar, our Honorary Service Award. So Anthony is our Director of Facilities, and he's receiving the Honorary Service Award in recognition of service above and beyond for the children in our schools and community. His dedication, work ethic, and unwavering commitment to excellence consistently exceed expectations and make a meaningful difference for students, staff, and families throughout the district. He begins his workdays early, often making rounds throughout the community and district facilities to ensure everything is operating safely, efficiently, and smoothly before students and staff arrive. This proactive approach helps prevent issues before they arise and reflects his deep sense of responsibility for the learning environments we provide for our children. No, that's not the entire write-up. I couldn't read everything because we have a Founder's Day, so I need more stuff to read, right? Okay, that's it.
I have a special place in my heart for the next person that we're going to talk about. This is Ellen Laughlin, and she's getting the Golden Oak Service Award. So Miss Ellen Laughlin is a teacher at Emperor that goes above and beyond for her students. She willingly goes the extra mile to make sure her students are growing and learning at their own pace. Ms. Laughlin has served at multiple sites in the district and has served as a mentor to many teachers within the district. She also served as a TCEA president and helped anyone when they needed it. Ellen is an exemplary teacher and can always be seen at various community and school events to support her students. She is a role model to so many.
And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the Temple City Women's Club, who is also receiving the Honorary Service Award. So the women's
It's not just me, it's the entire club.
Yes, it's in club. But she's the representative, she's the current president right now. The Women's Club celebrates a remarkable 100 years of philanthropy, civic pride, and community outreach. Since 1925, they have remained the cornerstone of Temple City history. They play a vital role in shaping the community's growth. Their legacy includes launching the much-loved and annual Camellia Festival, which started in 1944. The Women's Club supports the San Gabriel Valley Humane Society, Temple City Food Bank, and the club offers numerous scholarships to high school and trade school students.
Quickly, we're going to get a photo.
Is Andy up to?
Yes, yes, she has it.
Do you want to stand in the middle? Stand in the middle. Stand in the middle. It's Ron. No, I don't think he's here.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
That looks like, yes.
Gina.
Oh, Gina, come on.
Lynn, Honolulu, Jared.
Jerry's actually a member too.
Yes, Jerry's a member.
Jerry, you're a member.
I love that.
I want to stand in the
Oh, no, very
Where do we look? Over there?
Look at Jerry. Where's Jerry?
Joanne, turn your bit.
Oh, the other way. Like they're like, oh, yeah. A little slow.
Just want you to all know I'm a member of the Women's Club also because I'm.
That's exactly right.
You are?
All right.
Jerry, our people get out, the other ones come up as well.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's sitting there, come on.
Okay, where's the?
So Mary,
Marion took a photo just on that.
yes, what about you?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is just well for the program. Love it. Yeah, Jerry, want welcome to this side of the room.
Over the next group.
Jerry? Jerry, you want me to take it? Here, Jerry, you.
Oh, Jerry, I must have put a heart.
And you know what? We have 6 men that are members of our club. So we are not just
Notice I chose black pants today? And look here.
Anthony and he and all of our honorees.
Everybody. Yep.
Thank you so much.
I'll send some of the guys on one side. You guys are looking for 7th grade dance. You guys see that?
All right, Jerry, does that work backwards? Just slightly. There we go. All right. Go ahead, Jerry. I'm so tall. Is that what you very tall? Yeah.
Excuse me?
Take your hands out of your pockets.
I'm new to this.
Like in the front.
I've been around Jerry long enough.
Yeah. I'm about behind you.
Yeah.
Sir Anthony.
All right, here we go. Great.
And then one right here, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. That's great, board. Thank you. We're going to form the honorees to stay there. I think one's just a solo shot of just the honorees. Everyone else is great. Thank you. There we go. Ready?
Maria's ready. Maria's got
Board member. Vincent.
Just for a second.
All right, here we go.
Okay, great.
Good, thank you.
that it? Let's close it up? Yeah.
Got that.
Can we get started again? Thank you. We are on now for our second presentation tonight, Oak Avenue Schools to Watch, and Jordan Lisa. Jordan, please.
Thank you, and thank you, members of the board, for recognizing us this evening. It really means a lot.
I think it is on. No,
He's just.
Sorry.
too low.
I'm used to, when I do PD, I walk around the room pacing the whole time, so being on a microphone is difficult. No one will recognize me like this. But yeah, so we were named a National School to Watch to kind of go through what that means and the application process. Moises, you promised I had to click it this way and it would work. There we go. So yeah, so we were recognized by the National Recognition Program for Outstanding Middle Schools, and it's as far as middle schools go, is probably the hardest and most prestigious award to get as a middle school. This is their 4 pillars and what we have to show to be recognized for this award. It is academic excellence, of course, test scores and all of that. But really they're looking at a whole school approach. So our developmental responsiveness, so how do we address learners who need that extra help? Social equity, how do we address the whole child? Social emotional learning. And then our organizational structures and processes, how do our structures in place work with professional development, with how we handle discipline, and really that whole approach to how the school functions as a whole and with the systems we put in place. So to earn this, you have to show excellence in all 4 areas to be recognized. There's quite an extensive application process. So the application process started with first, this award is designated in 3-year cycles. So once you get recognized, you're recognized for 3 years, and to keep being designated, you not only have to show that you're maintaining, but you have to show progress through all 3 years. So it starts off, being in our first year of designation, it's a 3-year deep dive into our data. And this went through everything from CAS scores to iReady to attendance to discipline, and then not just that, but then also desegregated by subgroups, so by ethnicity, by gender, by socioeconomic status, by our ELD status. So literally, by the end of this, we had 250 pages of documents we submitted to them, showing every chart and graph and number that we've had over the last 3 years. Again, thank you for some of the district office staff that helped put this together, and our ed services team helped. This really was truly a team effort by the entire district and our school staff helping with this. We had to go with also a narrative of what we do and how we address through a narrative of how we address all 4 pillars. And that resulted in an 18-page written application. And it's funny, one of the more daunting things doing this is you go on the instructions on how to apply, and it's open up a blank Word document and type it and submit it here. And in my brain, I'm like, wait, where's the rubric? Where's the instruction? How do I format this? So that part was daunting. Like, how am I going to fill 18 pages? We had a really strong writing team. So again, because we're looking at the whole school as a structure, so like Amanda Castellama, our ASB, was heavily involved. Marta Rajali, our PBIS lead, was heavily involved. And John Juarez, our editor-in-chief, who went through every word. Line by line, making sure all the grammar made sense and everything was spelled correctly. So we submit this 18-page document that has evidence that we show in narrative form and in data form of everything that we think can address their 4 pillars and what they're looking for to show excellence. After that is submitted, there is a 3-4 week walking on pins and needles to see if you make it to the next round. And then we get the notice that we were granted a site visit. So we made it to the next step. And the site visit, very much like a WASP process for high school. They want to come in and see that you are doing all the things that you say you are doing. So it was a team of 7 evaluators. The head of the California League of Middle Schools runs the team. He goes through every evaluation in California. And then there were 6 principals who've all had their schools designated and have gone through this process. So they know exactly what they're looking for. So there's no fooling anybody on this one. So they're going through, and they're whole day, very structured. They met with a team of students. They met with a team of parents, and I know some of them are in this room, so thank you so much for the parents who took time out of their day to come and sit and meet with the team and talk about our school. And then a lot of time they spend in classrooms. They want to see, we're talking about instruction, are they seeing this? We talk about PBIS and how we treat students and how we promote a positive culture, and they want to see this. And they want to see, like, it's easy to write about it, but in practice, on any random given day, are you doing this? These are some of the things that they saw. These are pictures taken from that day. So I wanted to focus one, it's funny when they do this visit, it's January 7th, and that's the 3rd day of the new semester. So it's like coming back from winter break, not much time to jump into this. So we had to be kind of set and ready to go. But those 2 middle pictures are how we had the room set up for them, because we have so many great things that, you're not necessarily always going to see every day, and especially like in our art classes and in our STEAM classes and our advanced STEAM classes, those semester classes, like, they're day 3 with these students. Our STEAM classes are great. If you go a month into our STEAM classes, you see them building rockets and launching them in the front lawn. Or you see them with soldering boards. You see all these amazing things. You see in our advanced art classes the projects they work on. But we wanted to be able to showcase that because that's something they're going to see in one day. So you can see on the bottom middle picture, we have the left side set up with our graphics program, our yearbook program, all of our kind of advanced art classes, and then the table on the top middle, our STEAM projects that they had made for 3D graphics. They had made 3D printed materials that, again, they're walking into STEAM and it's still taking a role in learning students' names and going through class expectations. So we still wanted to be able to highlight that so they can see it. And then just some of the other things they did see that day, students working, our PE classes, and then of course, bottom left, one of our flagship programs at Oak that is really one of the amazing things we do, our Giving Back program. Just so happens Giving Back was going on that day. Thank you, Jeff, for being that. And we knew at that point, if we weren't going to get it, those 3rd graders from La Rosa were going to nail it for us. So that was the hidden secret weapon. And then, okay, so why does this designation or why does this award matter? So it's an incredibly small portion of middle schools that get this designation. So around now, from the data we could collect, less than 4% of middle schools have been recognized with this award in any given year. And then in California this year, they said they had recognized 50 schools that they recognized this year. So 50 middle schools out of all of California, and that goes any school that recognizes any grades that are 6 through 8. So there's a couple K through 8 schools, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8 classes. So only 50 in California this year. Again, we're redesignated, and that's one of the good things about this is we're redesignated on a 3-year cycle, and they really push that during the visit that they expect improvement. So it's not just being status quo. They want to see us continually pushing forward and seeing progress in those 4 pillars when they come back in 3 years. These are the key features that we are trying to impress upon them. So again, going to their pillars for academics, our strong instructional practices, which our teachers are amazing, our high expectations for all of our students. When they're looking at how do we help our demographics that are struggling, and at Oak, they kept highlighting, well, yes, we know your test scores are amazing, and 70% of your students are at or above grade level, but then there's 30% aren't, and how are we addressing that, or how are we addressing certain subgroups that don't perform as high as others. And we wanted to highlight our Tuesday intervention period, which is our during the day Tuesday weekly intervention period that we started this year. Our after-school RTI program. So we run after-school programs, 7th and 8th grade English, 7th and 8th grade math, ELD program, and a program for students with special needs to help bridge those achievement gaps. Again, the whole child approach, looking at our ASB, our web program, PBIS, And then our intentional social emotional learning, our PAUSE program, which is our 15-minute counselor-made lessons specifically for our SEL programs, teaching anti-bullying, cultural sensitivity, all the things that we intentionally do to make our culture and school culture a place where people want to be. And then, of course, our varied extracurricular programs, our 26 clubs, our different athletics, NAPA, our award-winning marching band, auxiliaries program, so all of those extracurricular things we do to provide a good culture at our school. So this is what they highlight, and this is one of probably the most rewarding part of the process for me, I know personally, and I think a lot of our teachers as well. So at the end, we have a faculty meeting and they present to us their findings. So each one went around the room and said something that they saw that they highlighted that they thought met their pillars and why they thought that we were deserving, or at that point we didn't know yet, but they were going to present what they saw that was highlighted that day. And some of the things that they highlighted on their visit was our Tuesday intervention program. And we talked about how, for us it's brand new, this is our first semester in, and how we look forward to growing it over the next 3 years and how we can improve and continually make it better so that we can help our students who are struggling. They noticed our strong school culture, and one thing they kept talking about was our, just like they talk about and again, something that we all know and see every day is this TCUSD family, that they come in and, from the teachers, the students, it's this just clear feeling of like you're not just in a school, but you're in a community. And how they liked our students in our student groups, how they talked about PBIS and what that meant to them, and all the fun things about it, like the rewards and the points, but also how they felt really welcomed on campus. And one thing that I thought was funny was the clear school branding. Guys, like, one of the principals, I think it was from St. Gabriel, spoke and such, like, no matter where I go, I know I'm on Oak. I look here and there's this banner. I look here and there, every door has a sign. Like, it's this clear branding. It's like, no matter where I go, I cannot be mistaken where I am. So that was one thing they highlighted. And then the evident collaboration through our PLC process. And we talked about how, a couple of the examples, they went to an 8th grade history class, and they were learning about the Industrial Revolution and how the teacher made this loud environment and music's playing, and there's fog machines going off. Sorry, Anthony. No fire alarms were set off in the making of this day. But and then they go through that class, and they go to a different 8th grade class, and they were doing a very similar activity. And different, but it was obvious that the teachers had worked together. They did it a little differently, but they worked together, and it was the same topic, and they're doing the same things, and how that was evident across the board. 8th grade English was similar. You walked into this 8th grade English, and here they might be doing an activity that's different, but it's the same concept. And science, they're all doing a lab because they're all right in line. So they had clear evidence that our teachers are collaborating and working together in our PLC process. And then, of course, one of the members highlighted our giving back. And one of them, the visiting members, they all came in and visited it, and one stayed the entire time, played the instrument. Got the certificate, and truly it was like she was talking about how that was the highlight of her day, being there and seeing the kids play. And we got the student who was working with her was just an all-star student and so articulate. It's amazing sometimes when you see a student like this is an 8th grader. Like I feel like I'm seeing like a senior in high school talk to this person. So again, that was one thing that they highlighted. So I'm told the sound on this may not be great, but this is at the end. So again, they're all sitting up front, and then this was their presentation to us at the end. Hopefully we can play and hear some of it of how they finished the meeting.
Describe their school in one word. They're working, I told them, the words on the wall outside the campus. So their words were ambitious, chances, spirited, safe, outgoing, encouraging, inclusive, active, creative, and challenging. Asking the middle school to describe your school in one word. But that's good. So from all of our comments, clearly it was positive. I can tell you this application is one of the highest scored applications. I was halfway through the application when I started reading really good. I want to see what everybody else thought. 28 is a perfect score. There's a couple of 28. That's kind of my role where I see those scores. So, from everything everybody said, clearly this is a very positive day. Congratulations, you are now a state and national schools to watch.
And again, you know, this is one of those programs where we're going through and laying out everything we do and highlighting our programs, and you know, it's nice to be recognized and win awards for the sake of winning awards. Really, what makes us and the teachers feel good about this, I feel like, is it's not winning an award, but it's what we do for our students and how hard the effort our teachers put in every day, and how many times we ask them to take on a little more and take on a little more to help our students, and our teachers take it on willingly. And you know, that was one of the things, again, that the community highlighted, was just we're not satisfied with 70% being great, which, you know, there's any schools, most schools around here would kill to have 70% of their students at or above grade level, and how they recognize the extra work our teachers put in to work with the ones that we're not getting, and that, you know, made me as a principal really proud, and just so proud of our faculty, that how hard they're willing to work and all the extra they do. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much as well to the council PTA for the presentations you guys are doing. We really appreciate that. Love to start the meeting off with good music. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but of course.
You bet.
Come on up, Melissa.
Yeah, can the people come up? Come on, guys. Come on. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it good. How are you?
All right, how are you? Good
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Oh, science. Oh, wait, we got more. We need to take a picture. Yes, right. Science.
All right, science. That's cool.
So if you're under 30 or 35, you can deal with them.
That's not me, it's not me.
Soccer pose, soccer pose.
I need to see everybody's face, including Donna. All right. Sam, you're good. There you go. All right, here we go.
Give me that look.
Smile real big. Okay, smile real big because we're going to see the fillings in your teeth here.
That's a lot.
Great.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Jess.
It's crazy though, right?
You're welcome. Let's have coffee soon. Oh, yeah. You're good. Good to see you. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Good.
Take care.
Always good to see you, Jerry.
You too,
Take care,
Randy.
man.
Take care.
Making fun of you because I spelled something wrong.
Oh, did you?
Buried. One word.
And participation.
Former ed section noticed it.
Buried in
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
2 words.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get back to our meeting now. We are on item 8, which is public comment on agendized and non-agendized items.
My brother.
And I do have one request tonight. I hope I don't box the first name too bad. Leanna Lee would like to come and talk to us about track and field fundraiser concerns. Leanna?
Should we close the door?
Leave it open.
I'll close it, like partially close it.
Good evening to the Board of Education trustees.
Can you move closer to the mic?
Oh, sorry.
It's on it.
Okay, hold on, okay. Good evening to the Board of Education trustees. My name is Rosetta and I'm a high schooler at TC. So recently our track and field sports team hosted a fundraiser and I would like to introduce several anonymous letters on behalf of my peers providing their perspectives on the fundraiser. So the first letter provides more insight into the fundraiser. So they state, good evening. When we had first received the news of the fundraiser, many team members thought the idea was ludicrous, as the idea itself fundamentally seemed unjust. Our coach told us that we would each need to sell 20 raffle tickets, $10 each, in order to stay on the team. This came as a surprise because of the ridiculous manner by which he presented the idea, alluding that without prompt payments of $200 each person by the deadline, we would be excluded from team activities. I feel like next time requirements set to each of the students should be more reasonable, without such a ridiculous punishment resulting from inability to pay. However, there are more grievances on the specific matter that I would like to shed light upon. Upon receiving criticism on my thoughts of the fundraiser, one of the coaches decided to pick out individuals, including me, in front of the whole team, to which he would publicly shame and lash out against unprofessionally, without any regard for the flawed nature of his own decision. And instead of answering questions reasonably, would answer them hastily and dismissively, attempting thereafter to goad us into sympathy for him to convince us to pay for this ridiculous fundraiser. Now onto the second letter from one of my peers. They specifically respond to a statement that the coaches stated. We live in million-dollar houses at Temple City, and therefore we should be able to donate $200 to the fundraiser. The letter starts, my family may have a house that costs around $1 million, but my family dynamic has been unstable, and life has been especially difficult after my parents have separated. I approached the coach the other day saying that my family is struggling, and the coach pretty much said, you better start selling in front of the store. I would like the teachers to be more considerate to students who have one parent and are struggling financially. The purpose of retelling these experiences is not necessarily to blame anyone. Rather, I hope that the district is able to re-emphasize to coaches, staff, and advisors to be more respectful towards students' financial positions through staff meetings or through comprehensive policies. I hope that teachers, coaches, faculty members should set the right tone for the fundraisers. This means that they should not imply fundraisers are mandatory and for the students to participate. This also includes not singling out students when they do not donate, as well as keeping track of the students who have participated in the fundraiser. I also hope that teachers, coaches, and faculty members should not assume other people's financial statuses and assume that all students can participate in the fundraiser. And in the case that a student does tell the coach that they are not in the position to participate in the fundraiser, I hope that they should be more respectful of the student's position and urge them not to continue participating in the fundraiser. Thank you for your time, and I hope the district is able to address our concerns.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on now to Item 9, community update. Actually, I have a couple things I want to share. On Saturday, January 31st at 7 p.m., the coronation of the community court will take place at Live Oak Park. All people who want to attend are free to attend. On Saturday, February 21st at 10 a.m., the Temple City Community Parade will commence along Los Tunas Drive from Sultana to the Temple City Park. If you are interested in attending, bring a folded chair and an umbrella to try to stay cool and comfortable. Now this year's Grand Marshal will be Robin Sharp from Sharp Dance Studios in Temple City, and the honorary Grand Marshal will be the Temple City Unified School District's Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Arcuna, which is pretty exciting. The Carnival and rides will be available at Temple City Park from Friday evening through Sunday evening. Tickets for the rides can be bought in advance, and there will be a number of food truck vendors selling food during the carnival. Completely separate, there will be a separate item will be a Lunar New Year celebration on Saturday, February 7th, also at Temple City Park from noon to 4 p.m. Lastly, the Temple City Historical Society it will be opening up the museum at the location which is adjacent to the fire station at Temple City Park. And it'll be there open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. if people want to stop by and see what's going on.
It'll be open at 2.
Oh, it'll be open at 2?
Are you saying 7?
Yeah, 7, yes. No,
It's
7.
going to be open on the day of the parade also, at 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Anyway, you've heard it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And, let's see, yeah, thank you so much. So with that, we're moving on to the bargaining unit comments, starting first with CSEA 105, Denise Wong. Denise, do you have anything you want to share? I thought I saw her here this month. Okay, then moving down to CSEA 823, Ray Velasquez. Is Jazz here too? Do you have anything you want to say?
I think I'm just saying thank you for having us. Is that going over the members?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi guys.
I'm
a little distracted for a second.
Okay, thank you. And then Temple TCEA Elijah Boardroom.
Happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you. Let's see, okay, so now we're moving down to item 11, district updates, starting first with business services and Connie Wu.
Good evening, board. Good evening, committee member, everybody. The windstorm damage claim, we all know that a strong windstorm happened on January 7th last year, and we have several schools that have damage, our debris, trees. So after almost a year coordinated with the FEMA and the California Office of Emergency, and they approved the cover the cost of the damage, the part which was not covered by our insurance, such as the deductible. The process is long, so they already approved, but actually payment process including several documentation. One documentation is a resolution tonight. The board will vote for Form 130 will allow us to start the process of getting reimbursed. So students service starting this second semester, January 12th and 19th at the elementary school side and secondary school side, we do the students meal survey. So overall, the students' response is very positive, and they see the district effort to improve the meal. And the silverware piece, of course, they are favorable, and they also give some input, some veggies, some specific food dishes they like. Last night, some of us was in the Kiwanis students' month, but I heard that looks like a couple of kids in their things to improve their school meal. So I had my director of food service to talk to those students today at lunchtime. Actually, some information we do need to clarify. Students say they do like the meal. They want to, for example, they want the quality of the rice. The rice school cafeteria provide probably more close to their mom cooked. So I understand that. I'm Asian too. So rice is very important for us to grow up. The other thing is old students, actually he don't have any problem. He just, his friends made some comments, so we will definitely reach his group of friends. But he asked us if we can have add another serving at Oak. So we will visit that, evaluate that, which means that potentially we will add staff to open another window to serve lunch. So everything's good. So I was almost a little bit surprised, but it turned out good. And I thank to Jerry, gave us a chance to connect with the students because he has a lot of resources. Thank you. The other things I want to remind, mainly for our staff, because the one beautiful bill is changed, so the IS has in some tax code changes. However, our system, which is in the County Office of Education, our system with the traditional W2 form was not able to revise timely to according with the IS rule changes. So we have informed all our employees whose job and the work is subject to the overtime. And there will be additional notice to them, please do not throw away because that will be their part of the evidence for their tax return. So make sure that don't throw away, everything is very important for your tax return is a part of the rule regulation changes. So that is my update for today.
Great, thank you, Connie. We're now going to move on to Educational Services. Dr. Stacy Ayers. Stacy, do you have information for us?
Good evening, board members. Congratulations once again to Oak Intermediate for their Schools to Watch award. I had the opportunity to be there that day when the panel came out to interview the staff as well as the students, the parents, and the presentation that Jordan did at the beginning of the day to kick off the event, and it is truly well deserved. One of the comments that the team members mentioned that Jordan didn't share today was during the student panel, they were quite impressed with our students because not only did the students answer the questions to talk about all of the wonderful things happening at Oak, but they also asked the panel questions. And so one of the questions that our students asked was, so what would you like to see from us in 3 years? And so it was a very thoughtful question to try to get some insight into what can we do to get this award next. So congratulations once again to Oak for their award. Also, this season is the season of input into our local control and accountability plan. I want to say thank you to all the parents and students that participated in the local climate survey. We had great participation results. I'll be sharing a little bit about that during my presentation this evening. But there is a second survey that has launched for our staff, students, and families, which is our California Healthy Kids survey. So I encourage everyone to participate in that. The cabinet as well as Ed Services has been making visits to the school sites to meet with student advisory councils to get even further input about the survey results. And I can share with you that the students are always so honest with us about things that they love about their school and then things that we can do to continue to enhance programs. But one of the common themes that we hear across all of the schools is the wonderful visual and performing arts programs that we have available and how they really just want more and more enrichment activities to be able to participate in. So that's really nice to hear. Also, this is a busy month for teachers. They are launching their second diagnostic assessment for English language arts and math this month. So students are engaging in iReady assessments as well as STAR assessments. So we are excited to see the growth that they make from the first assessment given at the beginning of the year in comparison to these results, because it definitely helps to inform instruction before we have CASP testing in a couple of months. And then finally, registration opens for our families for the 26-27 school year. You can register online starting February 2nd to enroll your child. If they are not part of our amazing school district, we hope that you will click that button and click enroll and be a part of our family for next school year. So thank you. Those are my updates.
Great, thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Stacy. And then now we're going to move on to Human Resource Services. Richard.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight I just want to thank our union partners. So Elias, Jazz, Denise isn't here, but Denise as well, for all the willingness to sit down and continue with our positive relationship. So as we begin to talk about negotiations and we talk language, contract language, it's always, I think refreshing is probably the best word to use as we sit down and have conversation. And everyone at the table the idea is to move us forward as an organization. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Richard. Okay, with that, we're on to item 12, board member comments, and we're going to start tonight with member Sneed. Mary?
Thank you very much, President Smith. First, I wanted to welcome, we have scouts here with us tonight from troops 161 and 181. Can you stand up in the back, please? Just want to acknowledge you. Thank you for coming tonight. These scouts are working on, there are 3 very important badges that they are looking to earn. And so coming to our board meeting tonight is helping them earn one of their many merit badges. So thank you for coming tonight. Several of us attended the governor's budget workshop last week. I think it was really important to be able to hear how the state budget will affect our schools and that we receive all the funds that we should. A big congratulations to Oak Avenue. That's just being acknowledged as a national school to watch. I've always been impressed by how their staff has always stepped up and said, we have an idea for a class. Can we go ahead and try that? And the work that they put into winning this award is just outstanding. I know we're all very proud of them. I want to thank Kiwanis for doing the Students of the Month. You had a big crowd. That's last one. Since our last meeting, it's been a little while, but many students have made us proud. 10 of our students braved the rain to march in the PCC Honor Band, and Jack Taylor continued his work. I think he's been working with the band for something like 37 years. And he was marching down the parade with them, with a poncho on, so he didn't get his suit wet. But I watched them and I just felt for all those kids marching in that band, in that parade. But they looked to be having a good time. And also the royalty float included our Princess Livia. She'll be also in our Kamaya parade. A couple of places. She'll be Miss Temple City Princess, and she'll also be in her own car later. Kara Z and Kevin W. were recognized by Mike Fong for their art. Aaron Shen earned honorable mention from the Representative Judy Chu's Congressional App Challenge. The high school science Olympiad team they got first place in LA County and 4th amongst the state teams. And Neil Hugh, I hope is that his name correct? Was named in the top 300 in the prestigious Regeneron Science Talent Search. So we have some just outstanding students making us very proud. I know we all enjoyed the choreo showcase. It was just such a great show. Our students are just so talented. It's just they keep amazing at how talented they are. Even from our youngest dancers to the seniors who were graduating this year, it was just a fun evening. They did a fantastic job, and I want to thank all the brave teachers who got up on that stage and took part in Dancing with the Teachers. So congratulations to the La Rosa and Cloverleaf team. And then congratulations to all of our PTA Honorary Service Award winners. That's all. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mary. We'll move on now to Member Georgina Donna.
Thank you. First, I want to congratulate Oak Avenue. I've always known they were great, but it's just nice for them to receive that award and be recognized by everyone throughout the state of California for the great job that they do with our students. Also, I want to congratulate the PTA Honorary Service Award recipients. I'm looking forward to seeing them honored at the Founders Day event in a couple weeks. Prior to our winter break and after our last meeting, I did attend a few events, the elementary band orchestra concert, the BAPA holiday performances, the La Rosa Longden and Temple City Early Learning Academy holiday performances, and the Oak Avenue band and orchestra concert. And I had to mention them because they were all fantastic. Students were just amazing, and was really proud to be able to attend all of those. During the winter break, I was able to attend the boys basketball tournament that they hosted along with Duarte High School. I attended 2 of their games, including the championship game, which they won. And every team they played, they beat them by like 30 points. They were really great. It was very fun to watch them. So I'm glad I was able to do that. It's so hard to do it during the regular school year because there's so many night meetings, but during the break I didn't have any, so I was able to attend that. I also got to go to Band Fest and see our students who were in the PCC Honor Band up close, and that was really fun. Since we come back to school, I attended the governor's budget workshop along with our union partners, and thank you very much for attending that with us, and thank you for lunch too. That was very, very nice. I went to Caltech to see Erin Shen being honored for Judy Chu's Congressional App Contest, and it's really amazing what these students do. I mean, it's just so far above anything I could comprehend, but he was one of the top 10 in her app contest, and so we're really proud of him. I attended the dance concert, and they just keep getting better every year. It was outstanding, and I enjoyed that very much. Also, Matt and I attended a standing committee meeting with the city, and I just wanted everyone to know that we consistently discuss safe routes to school for our students and e-bike safety, along with other things. But every meeting we have, we discuss that because that's an issue that we don't want to let our guard down on. And the city is always very receptive to our concerns, and they're always willing to work with us, and so hopefully we'll be able to address issues before they become too dangerous. But that is something that is on the forefront of our minds every time we attend these meetings. I also participated in the Kiwanis Student of the Month. It's always great, always fun. I wanted to also congratulate Neil Hugh, the Regeneron Society for Science Scholar. That's very impressive. Our Science Olympiad team who placed fourth at the USC Invitational. And then Kevin and Kira who, Kira got first place, and her artwork will be at the state capitol. And they were both in Mike Fong's art contest. And lastly, on January 11th, the Historical Society had a presentation by the Temple City High School former band director, Bert Ferntile. He did it on the history of the Pride of Temple City, and it was outstanding. And anybody who's interested in the Temple City High School band, Jerry taped it for us, so you can see it at templecityphotos.com. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see all the memorabilia we had on display, but just seeing the presentation is really enjoyable, so I highly recommend that to everyone. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Donna. And now we're going to move on to Melissa Espinosa. Melissa.
Thank you, Matt. So first, before I jump into what I had prepared, I do want to congratulate Oak. What an amazing honor. We're very, very proud. And to our honorary service awardees, we're excited to celebrate all of their contributions on the 13th, so congratulations. I did want to recognize Black History Month, which we will be voting in today, but also we just had MLK Day, and I think celebrating Dr. King, a person who was pivotal in advancing civil rights, and so important today. Even still, how many years later? It's interesting. So I want to recognize that and the importance of his memory. I also want to acknowledge Lunar New Year, which is coming up on the 17th, and wishing our community a very happy and prosperous New Year. And then just really quickly, I attended the events I attended. I didn't go too far back, but I attended the Oak Holiday concert, the VAPA performance, Kiwanis Student of the Month this year, dance concert, and just so proud. I have a very soft place in my heart for the performing arts, and to see our kids kind of thriving at younger and younger ages is just so wonderful. So keep on doing what you're doing, kids. It's great to watch, and that's it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Melissa. And then we're going to move on to Vincent Bill. Vincent.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to a new year. I want to echo the comments by my fellow board members and to congratulate, both our honorary service award recipients, and really they're, again, I'm going to keep saying this, they're a hallmark of what makes Temple City who we are today. And for Oak Avenue, and I think we all agree here, that was not a big surprise to us, but it's really wonderful that they're finally getting recognized for what they do so amazingly well. And I also want to congratulate Ms. Olivia DePaula for representing us as a Rose Princess. That was certainly a wonderful opportunity for her, and we look forward to seeing her sometime. And the dance concert, are they high school kids? Because they don't look like it. They look like they're professional. I don't want to say what type, but they're professional performers, because I would get it wrong. Yes, I would like to also, okay, here's the STEM part, so. Yes, it is. Okay, so yes, I would like to also congratulate Neil Hu for being selected. That Regeneron Award is truly a very difficult one to get. To be named as one of the top 300 scholars is an amazing achievement for him. And on top of that, because of his his recognition, it gained, I think, the district $3,000 to contribute, or $2,000. Yes, okay, that's correct. That will support a lot of different STEM initiatives throughout the district. So that's incredible. And Aaron Shen for his recognition for Congressional App Award from Ms. Chu's, or Senator Chu's office, or Congresswoman, sorry. You know, I was able to attend that last year, but this year I had a conflicting schedule with the USC invite, so I was kind of stuck in one place. But you know, these two gentlemen had one thing in common. At one point, they both participated in our Science Olympiad programs. So this is not a big surprise to me personally, and I've gotten a chance to know both of these fine young men, you know, throughout the years. And so as far as that segueing into all the things that our Science Olympiad teams have been doing, they participated in 2 tournaments so far, and I believe both times they placed 3rd or 4th. But really what's notable here is the fact that they're now placing amongst the national competitors, which is really, really a very key metric. So they're literally knocking on the door of the team that's represented Southern California for the past 25 years. So they see us in the rearview mirror. And that's a wonderful thing. This coming weekend, I'll be joining our team up at Stanford, where they're going to continue to compete. And let's see, what else do I have? Okay, so some of you may know we have this female team that's trying to build a car. And so, you know, they've been reaching out to sponsors, and part of the key sort of construct of these teams is that they are self-supporting. So they got the attention of an organization called LA STEM, and LA STEM is a collective that supports a lot of different STEM initiatives throughout the LA County area, and they were very fascinated by their project, so they came by for a visit to talk to our girls and see what their project is all about. And they were so thrilled that they invited them to join their collective of about 150 different groups. So now they are officially a part of that group, and out of that, they've started to get sort of support. And as a matter of fact, they've been invited to the Peterson Auto Museum somewhere in mid-March to serve as members of their open panel. So Peterson Auto Museum is conducting this K-12 sort of event for kids and for students that are interested in automotive design. And so they invited our kids to bring their product wherever they're at, and to be able to have these conversations with children as young as kindergartners, which I think is a wonderful opportunity for everyone. Finally, I would like to thank all the families from Heliotech and especially the Temple City Schools Foundation for continuing to support the program and allowing for these kids as well. And that is it for me this evening.
Great, thank you, Vincent. And I'm not going to, I attended, participated in most of everything that everybody else mentioned, so I'm not going to repeat that. But I very much appreciated the contributions that people from the community make to help out, so we're all very pleased with that. The last thing that Vincent touched on, I did want to make sure people know we received $18,000 in donations in our board agenda tonight. 7,500 was from the Temple City Schools Foundation, and the balance was from the Hebo Tempo, which was almost $11,000 close to it. So with that, I'm going to move on to student board member report. Xavier Munoz. Xavier, what do you have for me?
Good evening, everyone. At first, I wanted to start off by congratulating Oak. This award is so well deserved, especially because I do have a younger sister at Oak, and there's not a day that goes by where she doesn't tell me what she did in her social studies class or this fun activity she did in math. So there's always something to look forward to in those classes, and I know this award is so well deserved. And then, while we are almost a month into the new year, I do want to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope they had a wonderful winter break filled with friends, family, and fun. And then as we come back, I hope everyone enjoys their fresh start to the new year and the new grading period. On January 6th, I attended Choreo's 2026 dance concert called Eclipse. It was really beautiful to see the addition of the new Ember and Longview dance clubs. I can only imagine what we can expect to see at next year's dance concert. For me, one of my favorite performances was the Choreo Senior performance to Hometown Glory. This performance really resonated with me as I am also a senior, and I know it was really emotional for those Choreo seniors as well. This past weekend, our Temple City High School had their 2026 winter formal at La Meridin in Arcadia. To me, this is one of the best winter formals we have ever had. Not only the DJ was good, the venue was amazing, and overall it was just a really great night to remember. We also did have a very high attendance with over 300 attendees, so that was really successful for us. And then next week at Temple City High School, we will also be beginning our campaign week for the 26-27 elected positions in AOSB, and those results will be announced in February. And then finally, I do want to talk about our 8th graders from Oak, because on February 4th, next Wednesday, they will be going to the high school to see what we have in store for them at the rally and clinics. Yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Xavier. And then next we're on to the superintendent comments, and you'll notice that Dr. Flynn is not with us tonight, but he did ask Susanna to represent him, so Susanna, no pressure.
We're kind of like twins. Big shoes and big shoes. All right.
Good evening, Board of Education, Executive Cabinet, guests, and those watching at home. I'm Susanna Capper, the district's Public Information Officer, and tonight I have the honor of stepping in for Superintendent Dr. Kuna for a special surprise for all of you, our Board of Education, to say thank you as we close January, which is Board of Education Appreciation Month. We would never forget you. We used to refer to Webster's Dictionary for definitions, but we live in an AI world. So I asked ChatGPT, what does a Board of Education do? It spit out this answer. The Board of Education helps guide our school district by setting the vision, approving policies, following procedures and budgets, and making sure decisions are always focused on what's best for the students. They represent the community, provide oversight, and support schools. I thought this was a pretty well-rounded definition and a good description of what you all do, much of which goes unseen every time you meet here, but it allows for the district to function and thrive. But it did forget a few things in that definition. It forgot that our Board of Education gives generously of their time, attending science nights, open houses, concerts, musicals, award ceremonies, and the list goes on, because you believe that showing up matters. It forgot to tell us that your roots in Temple City run very deep. Many of you are alum of our schools, parents or grandparents of current or former students, parents of staff and teachers, mentors to student programs, and active members of countless city organizations. Some of you have served this district for more than 20 years. all while pursuing your own careers and taking care of your own families. You encourage the arts, launching an elementary VAPA program for our littlest learners. You initiated a DLI program that just began this year and allows our district to service the needs of our community. You support innovation, like building a solar car and driving it all the way to Texas. You celebrate student artists competing on prestigious stages. You cheer on athletes signing commitments to colleges and proudly stand on the 50-yard line to open a new stadium that you helped bring to life. This board knows our community. You are not here for prestige, you are not here for control. You are here because you love Temple City. You believe in the students who are shaped here. And no matter how many events you attend or graduations I've seen you walk through, you are still genuinely amazed when our students accomplish great things. When a student feels proud, you carry that pride with you. When a student needs encouragement, you are there to cheer them on. From a single term to decades of service, you have chosen again and again to sit in these chairs, supporting our students. You champion diversity, creativity, and opportunity in all its forms. Our Board of Education is truly a gift to Temple City. And tonight, we simply want to say thank you.
Thank you to the TCUSD School Board. We appreciate everything that you do. Thank you.
Happy Board of Education Appreciation Month. Happy Board of Education Month.
Happy Board of Education Appreciation Week. I want to truly thank you for supporting all of our students, staff, and community. And I truly appreciate all of the support that you pour into all of our schools in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Board of Education. We love you.
I want to thank the board for everything you do for us here at Oak. We have so much support for our programs, so much support for our students and staff. We could not do any of the things we do without the amazing board we have. So thank you so much. We appreciate everything. Thank you for taking care of us. We love you.
I just have to say thank you to our amazing board to supporting our district and me personally here at Longden. I cannot thank you enough, and keep doing the great things that you do for us. We love you.
Thank you, boys. You're the best.
Thank you for caring about us.
Happy Board of Education Appreciation Month.
Thank you, Board of Education, for all of the wonderful programs that you bring to our students in Temple City Unified, and thank you for all of your innovative ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Board of Education. I'm glad we're honoring or recognizing all of you this month. I truly understand the importance of having a cohesive board. You guys support me beyond question. I truly do appreciate that, but above all, I appreciate what you do for our students and for our staff. You guys have one mind. You guys are student-centered. You are fiscally responsible, and everything you do for the betterment of this community and for our students. And for that, on behalf of everybody that you have an impact on, I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Temple City Unified School District board members, for supporting our lovely La Rosa Elementary.
Thank you for supporting our students.
Thank you for supporting our teachers and staff members.
Thank you for supporting our parents and families.
And thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you.
Woo! Thank you, Temple City School Board members, for all that you do to make sure that Emperor is a fun and safe place to be at.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Спасибо за ваш сервис, мистер Белл. Gracias, señor Espinosa. 谢谢你做的每件事情 Mrs. Georgino.
Thank you!
Happy Board of Education Month for helping us succeed. Because of you, Oak is great.
Thank you for your support, board members. Thank you for caring about us. Thank you for all you do for us at Cloverleaf.
Thank you for helping us in the classroom and beyond.
Thank you so much for supporting Yearbook.
Thank you for supporting VAPA.
Thank you for your hard work and dedication.
Happy Board of Education Appreciation Month.
Thank you for caring about us. Thank you for all you do for us. Because of you, we have great programs at Temple City High School, like Heliotech and sports programs.
To Temple City Board of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Thank you, Mr. Bell, for always supporting us and providing us with this workshop to work with.
And thank you, Mr. Bell, for always being our #1 fan and supporting us no matter what we do, and always lending us the help when we need it.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Thanks for always supporting us and always appreciating our humor. Thank you so much for always showing up in your stylish fashion and your haircut.
And thank you for being an inspiration to countless students like me. For many, Mr. Bell was the first person to believe in them. He's opened countless opportunities, and we couldn't have done it without this madman. Thanks, Mr. Bell.
Hi, I'm Scott Sherman.
Hi, I'm Anthony Chan.
And we are assistant principals at Temple City High School. We, once upon a time, were students of Miss Sneed at Longden Elementary.
Thank you, Miss Sneed, for supporting so many students throughout the years, like us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Georgino, thank you for everything that you do. From always supporting the high school to always being there for Sister City, you're always there, and we really appreciate you for that. I'm lucky to have you, and I know the entire district feels the exact same way. Happy Board of Education Appreciation Month.
Hello, Melissa. I appreciate you so much. As a school board member, you are so loving, and when I watch you come to our events, you look at our kids as if they were your own. And I remember that because both Alexa and Ava were part of the performing arts here in Temple City Unified School District. And I just think it's awesome that you consider all our students to be yours. And having known you for such a long time, all the way back to Emperor PTA, I just see your dedication, your warmth, your excitement when things happen in our school district. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Happy Board of Education Month. I am so excited and honored to be your student board member this year. Your passion and drive do not go unnoticed. Happy Board of Education Month.
Thank you, Board Member Matt Smith, for your continued support over the years. I can remember back in the early 2000s when I was a school counselor at Oak Avenue and also coaching the boys soccer team, which I know one of your boys was on at that time, and you supported me not only then as a coach by helping make sure the kids had what they needed when you were serving on the board, but as well as now, here we are 20 years plus later, and you're still supporting our school district. So thank you very much for all the work that you do for our district.
We love you, Board of Education!
We are proud of you, say we are proud of you. We are proud of you, say we are proud of you. Thanks for all you do.
Perfect. Thank you again for all you do.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
I don't know how we really follow that. Thank you very much. Very, very much appreciated. Let's see, where are we? I got it. So that was art. Moving on to item 15, written communications. I do have a written communication that is important, and probably a little bit boring after that, but this is the highlights of a letter we received from Los Angeles County Office of Education, and specifically the Superintendent of Schools. It says the Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools has completed a review of Temple City Unified School District's fiscal year 2025 through 26, first interim report. We concur with the district's positive certification and offer our comments. We recommend the district monitor the causes for deficit spending in order to keep it manageable and to minimize further erosion of the fund balance. Just a note about the deficit spending. We've been doing this every year since I've been on the board, so we will make it through. Thank you. let's see, we are now on to item 16, which is a discussion about the general obligation bond survey results and next steps. And I'm not sure who's going to present.
Joyce.
Oh, okay.
Board, I will introduce Joyce. She is a partner of our consultant, which is Team Civics. And tonight she will present to board the initial result of the survey for the District 2026 bond.
Thank you, Carmen. Good evening, members of the board. Again, I'm Joy Coomer. I'm a partner at Team Civics. Oh, now we're on. Okay. Partner at Team Civics. We are a consulting firm that works with school districts across California exclusively on public finance measures such as GO bonds. And as part of the process of the district considering potential GO bond for an upcoming ballot, we partnered with True North Research to conduct a survey of likely voters within the district to see if they would be supportive of a potential bond measure and the types of projects that you would do if one were to be passed. These results tonight that I'm sharing with you showcase the questions that we asked and the answers that were shared by your community. So unfortunately, Dr. McClarney, who is the president of True North, was not able to be here tonight due to another conflict. So I said I would do my best impersonation of him. However, he is about 6 feet tall and has no hair, so so you know it'll be a little bit harder. But I've worked with Tim a lot in a lot of your surrounding districts, and his survey results are always very well thought out. They go through the process very thoroughly, and I really think that they help provide a clear direction and answer to districts that are seeking to move forward with these school districts, or with these potential GO bonds. Pardon me. I saw this earlier. Is it this way? Aha. Purpose of the study. The reason the study was conducted, a couple different reasons: to determine if a bond measure is feasible, identify how to create that measure that's consistent with your community, their values, and then to gather information for needed communications and outreach should the district move forward. At the end of the presentation, when we look at the survey results, I'll talk about next steps that are available, and we'll talk a little bit about the timing. But this helps inform the district should they decide to move forward either way. The methodology of the survey. So this is the really, really tough math part where they get all of the statistics together to say how the survey will be reflective of your community, even if they don't speak to all of the registered voters in your district. So they use a stratified and clustered random sample of likely voters who are voting in November. It is based on age, gender, partisanship, household party type, and sub-geographies. So these characteristics tell you a lot about different voters. So they take a look at your whole voter population, and then they create little subcategories. And depending on how much percentage is in each one of those categories, that's how many of the sample. So that even though they are only talking to 400 people in your community, it exactly mirrors the entire voter population. One of the greatest indicators of how people might vote on a particular measure is that household party type, whether someone is a Democratic voter, a Republican voter, and then more importantly, who they live with, quite interestingly. So if a Democrat lives with a Democrat, they tend to influence each other, and they tend to lean more Democratic. If a Republican lives with another Republican, they tend to agree on politics, and they tend to reinforce their ideas. If a Democrat and a Republican live together, they actually tend to mitigate each other because they've learned how to talk about their politics, and they tend to be a little bit more in the middle. Participation. People were asked to participate in the survey through a personalized email, a text, or a telephone call. Typically, the telephone calls are the last thing that they do to help round out the sample. All registered voters receive the email, they receive the text if they have a cell phone number on file, It's personalized by the district so that they know it's real, and the district staff are provided with information should people call and ask, is this a real survey? There are pins to restrict access to only that registered voter who received that particular survey. So only one person can complete each survey per response, and only the person that it was provided to. They were able to do either take the survey via telephone, landline, or cell phone. They were also, if they received the text or the email, they could click through directly to the survey on the website. The survey was offered in both English and Chinese, so both languages were available to participants. The sample size was 400 completed interviews, so throughout this survey, when we look at the numbers, there is a margin of error of 4.9%. That's the statistically reliable rate considered for these types of voter surveys at the 95% confidence level. Any questions about the, all right. So the first thing that they are asked when they start the survey is about the importance of local issues. This helps warm them up to the survey. It helps provide them with some information about what this might be like. And these are randomized, but here we have them ranked from the highest to the lowest. And I have to say these are pretty remarkable results. Having done this for hundreds of school districts across the state of California, number one, right at the top, 71%, extremely important, maintaining the quality of education in local schools. That speaks to, just again, these types of issues, they're not partisan, it's about community values. And right here at the top, we see public education is part of the top priority. 96% either said it was very important or extremely important. I can't even imagine what the other 4% were, or yeah, 4% were, right? Who are these people? The next one down at 84%, creating jobs and improving the local economy, maintaining local streets and roads, protecting the environment. You'll notice a little bit further down at 79% is repairing and renovating aging schools facilities. Now when we're talking about GO bonds, we are talking about that particular thing, repairing and updating local aging school facilities. And it does rank a little bit less, 37.9%. This is often the case in almost every school district, especially when families drive by and they see, the beautiful schools. They don't see the inside, right? They maybe don't have kids in school, they drive by, and the schools look great, so how could they need anything? And so we often see that renovating aging school facilities ranks lower than maintaining the quality of education in local schools. That's also an important indicator, though, that when you're talking about renovating schools, we're not just talking about buildings and bricks and mortar, right? We're talking about the outcomes that happen because we're renovating the schools. Students get more access to more things. We make that connection and correlation for people. Next down on the list, protecting local property values. Oftentimes people believe strong schools protect local property values. And then last on the list, which we see almost never, is preventing local tax increases. And this is important because a GO bond is a potential tax increase. You'll see we'll be talking about a couple different options that the district has, but that preventing local tax increases, we always want to see that below our other two priorities, right? It's nice when we have at least a 10-point gap between repairing and renovating aging school facilities and maintaining the quality of education in local schools. You can see realistically that pretty much is that 10-point gap, and it is the lowest priority for people in your community. It is a good preview to what we see as we go through this survey. This is the initial ballot test question. So when you place a GO bond on the ballot, you have up to 75 words where you can describe the ballot measure that you are proposing. There are things that you have to have, and I'll talk about those. So you're only allowed 75 words. The question has to end in a question mark, and it has to be able to be answered yes or no. Those are legally required. We also have to say pretty much everything from that bottom paragraph, Shell Temple City Unified School District's measure, all the way to with citizens oversight, all of that is actually required language. So this may seem like a jumbling of things, not proper grammar, not maybe even great English, but we have so many restrictions on how we describe what we do that we're doing our best. You'll notice right up at the top, we talk about our top priorities: repairing and upgrading aging classrooms, science labs, CTE facilities, college and career readiness, talking about core subjects, upgrading instructional technology, and removing asbestos and lead paint where found. That's just part of renovating older schools. It always has to be done. It doesn't necessarily mean that there is any unsafe conditions in any of your schools. We're just acknowledging when you renovate older buildings, you may come across that. On the initial ballot test, oh, and I should mention that this was testing a $58 GO bond per 100,000 of assessed valuation. So the total bond amount would have been $198. This would have been a new tax that would have been on the ballot, $58. Forgot to mention that part. But even at that amount, the initial result was 71%. 37.1% were definitely yes. With that and the probably yes at 33.7, we get to that 71%. 7.6, we're not sure. 2.3, prefer not to answer. We often see sometimes those people are more, no, but they just don't want to say no to someone. You only had 11.1% is definitely no, 8.2 is probably no. So very strong results from the beginning. A Prop 39 bond only requires 55% to pass. So you are well above the margin of error, even from the initial ballot question, without telling anybody a single thing beyond that really convoluted 75-word statement. So here you can see that we also tested, this is a little bit confusing and unique to LA County. Almost no other county does this. They allow you to list supporters after the ballot question. So you can tell people, so if you remember from your own ballot, you might have seen there's a ballot question, then right underneath it says supported by, and it may list some individuals. And then if there's any opponents, it will also say opposed by. So here we tried the ballot question saying, well, what if you knew that these groups supported it? And we listed a couple of community groups. And you can see the number didn't change that much. It stayed at about 72%. So still within the margin of error, really exactly the same answer. Then we listed supporters and opponents. We listed just Taxpayers Association as the opponent. Again, you can see very little change at all. We're still at 70% within the margin of error, so no real difference there. So we see sometimes this helps, we see sometimes it hurts. Here it just didn't make a difference. We then put blinders on our respondents. And we wanted to make sure, even though they read that big statement at the beginning, that they understood that bonds mean taxes. And so we asked them, how would you feel if you, again, focusing on this and telling them that this was a tax and that it would be at that $58 per 100,000 of assessed valuation. Now, the hard thing about this is that a lot of times people can't do, they're hearing this survey very quickly, they're asked to do math on the fly, they're asked to know what assessed value is, they maybe don't have a lot of information yet. And you can see that when we focus them on the tax rate, the support goes down to 48%. So that would be below the 55%. But again, we're asking people to do a lot of things in a really quick survey. And so it's not uncommon to see this number drop when we put those blinders on and really focus on the tax rate. What we do see is when we try to do the math for people. So we looked at the average for the typical homeowner in Temple City Unified. And so then we said, well, what if you knew that it would cost the typical homeowner $342 a year? So each year, that is how much the typical homeowner would pay. Now, those who have been in the community for a longer period of time and bought their homes further back in time, they probably would pay much less. newer families moving in would pay much more. So it's still not a very good indicator of how every individual would pay, but at least it gives, it helps them get their mind around it. And the number goes up slightly to 52%. You'll notice that we've picked up more not sures. 18.3 is the definitely no. So the definitely no number is still below 20%, which is usually the standard that we see for definitely no. There's almost always 20% who are always no. They just will never vote for anything, any tax increase. So again, focusing on the tax rate tends to make people less supportive, but this is an important part of the test so that we understand how people feel about this. The next thing we did is we came around and we gave them a list of projects, again in a randomized order. We ranked them here from top to bottom. This gave people the idea of what the types of projects that the district might take on should a GO bond pass. You can see right at the top of the list, removing hazardous materials like asbestos and lead paint were encountered. So again, people are just wanting to make sure that those things are remediated as they're encountered. Repair or replace deteriorating roofs, plumbing. This is hard for me to read this far away. Electrical systems where needed. So again, kind of these basic repairs. Then updating and replacing old classrooms that don't meet current health codes or safety standards. Again, very health and safety and immediate repair focused we see are at the top. The thing that I will notice, you can see, and I'm going to back up here for a moment just so I can point this out. Usually we look at, what are those things that are at 55 or above? Because those are the things that, if we talk about them, it's above 55%, we're all in agreement, and it supports the GO bond. I just want to note that this is like the 55% mark, about right here. There's literally nothing that we've talked about that you're interested in doing that voters haven't said that they would support at 70% or above. Some things have lower intensity, like building a performing arts center to support high quality instruction in music, visual, and performing arts. But even that, with the strongly or somewhat favor, is over 70%. So you just don't have any projects that are anchors for the district. The community really, and I think this goes back to that very first question, maintaining the quality of education in local schools being a priority for people. They're like, yes, we definitely like all the things that you want to do. The next thing we did is we gave them a series of positive arguments. So these are the types of things that supporters of a potential GO bond measure may tell their community members, their neighbors, when they're out talking about this. The top message again, all schools were built 70 years ago. Am I reading this? Yeah. 70 years ago, at a time when asbestos, lead pipes were used during construction. We have classrooms that aren't accessible for students with disabilities. We need to fix these problems. The next one down says our schools are academically the best in the county, but were built 70 years ago. Some of our classrooms, labs, and career CTE facilities have never been updated. This measure will help ensure our schools stay competitive with neighboring school districts. So again, helping people understand how old the schools are. And I find that this is true in a lot of the districts I work with. I mean, we all have homes. We know the repairs and the updates that we have to do. And so helping make that accessible for your voters when you're talking about this really helps them understand, because they know they've had to replace a roof. They've had to, fix their windows. They've had to repaint buildings. It's about making that sort of relatable to them in their everyday lives. At the bottom, again, installing solar at all schools for a good environment makes good financial sense. Money saved on utility bills will be used in classrooms educating students. So kind of that argument that if we weren't paying huge electricity bills because we had solar, we could use that money and put it back into the classrooms. Again, it's the bottom of the list, but once again, we see all of these things are actually over 75%. So again, no real anchor as to what we talk about, but there are some things that are stronger. I will note, third from bottom, where the intensity jumps up again, right here to 51%. That argument there is that all money will stay local for local schools. It can't be taken away by the state or used for any other purpose. So really talking about that fiscal accountability is important to your voters as well. So after that, we came back to that 75-word question. And we said, now that you've heard more about this, right? We told them it was a tax. We focused them in on the tax rate. We saw support drop. Then we gave them some positive arguments. And what we see is that it bounces right back to 68%. So we started a little bit above 70, but here we are still at 68%. That's within the margin of error. It's no real difference than the initial ballot test. This shows that people receiving information about what it is you're planning and what you might do with those funds really keeps that support high. A survey, though, wouldn't be complete if we didn't include those negative arguments, if we didn't say the types of things that an opponent might say if they were opposing the measure. This helps ensure that your survey is balanced and provides you a real picture of what this might look like if people in the community are talking to each other about this potential measure. There were 5 negative arguments that were tested. You can see at the top, number one, and I will say this is number one all across the state, everywhere I go. Local residents and businesses have been hit hard by inflation, high interest rates, rising costs of living. Many are struggling to stay afloat. Now is not the time to raise taxes. It's just always the number one issue that you hear from people. The next one, everyone is coming up and asking for tax increases, including the state and local taxes, school bonds. There'll be lots of things on the ballot. This is testing the idea that LA County might have something on the ballot. Your local city might have something on the ballot. So we're testing, like, what happens if other people have things on the ballot at the same time. Again, these are all pretty, they resonate with people. At the bottom, though, I will say, the one that is least believable or least convincing is that we can't trust the district with this money. They'll mismanage it and not build what they promise. So, I do think that that shows that there is a good amount of trust in the district. It's at the bottom. They've heard lots of negatives. So, it's meant to put them in a negative mindset, but it is still the bottom one. So it's just not as believable. At the final ballot test, we come back again for a third time. They've heard that tax rate. They heard the positive things. They heard those negative arguments. And you can see at this final ballot test, they're sitting right back at 61%. Just reminding everyone, the margin of error is 4.9. 61% is still above the margin of error for a 55% bond measure. So again, it could be 66%. It could be as low as 56%. Either way, we're still above 55%. So still a strong support amongst your community for a bond measure at $58. However, we just want to mention that the district is eligible for what we call a bond extension. And the reason it's a bond extension is that you have existing bonds that are about to be paid off. So they will fall off the tax rolls in the next year and or next 2 years, and local residents won't be paying on those anymore. So we present this idea, well, instead of a new tax at $58, what if the district just asked you to continue paying the $43, because that's the amount that would fall off, so a smaller bond. What if we asked you to just continue paying that instead, and it would be a no tax rate increase? Interestingly, if we talk about the $58 and the $43 and the differential, we could try to communicate, right? You could say, well, but 43 is going away, so this won't really be 58. But it is kind of that, old, if we have to explain ourselves too much, we're probably not going to be very successful, right? If we're explaining, we're losing. So the alternative of this no tax rate increase bond you see actually sparks interest in the community again. And we're now back up in the high 70s%, 77%. So we felt like it was important that we test this and give you an idea. It's not that we're saying that $58 isn't feasible. We see throughout the survey it actually is. But it's clear that a bond extension alternative is highly favorable by the community. So looking at that $43 and testing that, or taking that as a potential for the ballot in November. But it does open up. There are a lot of needs across the district, and so it does open up the possibility of a couple options for the district to continue to explore. Before I talk about those, I just want to hit on our key conclusions here. Does a bond appear to be feasible for November of 2026? The answer is yes. We see a lot of positive signs. And I just want to note, we don't always get to tell districts that yes, a bond is feasible, but clearly your numbers are strong and it shows that there is a lot of community support. Voters rank maintaining the quality of education as the most important issue facing the community. There is strong natural support for the bond. It starts off at 71%. All of your projects are popular. Your positive arguments resonate with your community. And all ballot tests are above 55%, even after those opposition arguments. There is also very strong support for that bond extension alternative. The challenges are that there is tax rate sensitivity for the new bond. We saw that when we focused them on the tax amount, support dropped 23%. The negative arguments did get some traction. We dropped a little bit after those negative arguments. We don't really know what the future is going to be. We don't know what tariffs will look like, inflation, the economy, whatever. I mean, there's just a lot going on in the world right now, right? Here in the US. And then we also have the electoral climate. It's very hyper partisanship right now. I will say in 2018, there was what a lot of people call the blue wave. We saw it even in LA County, where more Democrats showed up to vote. We do see in your survey that Democratic voters tend to be slightly more supportive than Republican voters. It doesn't mean you don't have Republican support, it just means their support is higher. So some of those things might actually be beneficial, but it all depends on so many different things that it's hard to say there's still not challenges. So observations and recommendations. Keep in mind the survey is a snapshot in time. It's how people feel today. We can't really predict how they will vote in October and November, but it does give you a very clear idea. And I have to say I've worked with Dr. McClarney in many, many districts, and his polling is like always within the margin of error. I have outperformed his polling, but I've never, significantly underperformed it. So I do think that this is a good indication that your community supports a GO bond. We actually, at looking at this and considering the needs of the district, say that you may have a possibility that a lot of districts have been considering these past few years. And that is looking at a 2-bond scenario. So you ask voters to do the bond extension, the no tax rate increase at $43. And then you consider something smaller, like $18. And each of the 2 bonds have different priorities. The $43 bond could be focused on some of those extensive repairs and updates that are needed at the schools. The second smaller bond could be focused on some key community items that are important to different demographics, and we can help separate some of those things. This has been done successfully in LA County with school districts that I've worked with, also even in Riverside and San Bernardino County, neighboring counties. So it gives the community members this opportunity to see 2 different sets of needs, and oftentimes because the tax rate extension is a no tax rate increase, they're very supportive of that, hopefully at that high 70 rate. And then, they have the opportunity to add on a little bit more to help achieve some of those projects that aren't within reach with the $43. We also see that your top priorities, again, repairing older facilities and bringing them up to code, removal of hazardous materials. focusing on career tech, STEM, safety and security, and instructional technology. We really would like to recommend that the district move forward with communications about a potential bond. I think no matter what you decide to do, 1 bond, 2 bonds, 58, there is success in the future if we communicate this and we're thoughtful about it and we start engaging the community in the process. It will help inform you as to what the best decision is to make and eventually bring us to our timeline. We also do believe that an independent campaign committee will help through whatever tough times. Again, the district can provide communication and information about a potential measure, but it requires an independent campaign committee to do that work that tells people to vote yes, to vote in favor. The district cannot advocate for it. So here's that timeline that I promised at the beginning. I've kept it pretty high level here just so I don't take up too much more of your time. I like this timeline because it shows clearly the things that the district can do. You can see the first 3 arrows, test, vet, build, are blue, and they talk about the things that the district can do as part of an informational process. We started with our test, that's our voter survey. We're now in this second phase, vet, and this is part of the community conversation where we begin to talk about the district office options and get their feedback as to how they're feeling about different options. And I think this is an important part of the process in order to decide when you have these different options of how to move forward. This can include non-advocacy communication, using your existing communication channels to talk to community members and parents, mailers that go out to the community to get their feedback, talking to internal and external audiences, and then really figuring out, is the community ready and which way would we want to move forward. Then that final piece, or those months, in order to qualify for the ballot, the board has to vote before August 7th to place something on the ballot, whether it's 1 or 2 measures. So we're probably looking at either a June or a July board meeting. And it has to happen 88 days before the election, which is that November 3rd, 2026 date. So at that point, once we get to May and June, we're working on the ballot resolution. We're defining the project list, because every resolution has to have a full project list that describes all those projects that you'll do. We finalize the bond rate, the tax amount, and then start working on ballot argument signers and all those things. The 4th arrow intentionally turns yellow because that is your independent advocacy work. So again, the district can't advocate for the passage of a bond measure. They can provide information, but we do need to find those community members and parents who are willing to step up and be a part of that independent campaign committee who can do that advocacy work and help promote these and ask people to support and say yes. So at this point, we'll start moving into that second phase. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the survey or about the timeline. Otherwise, yes.
Out of curiosity, so we do a 2 bond. Do we have to have 2 separate campaigns?
No, it's all done under one. So it's interesting. One district that we worked with in LA County, they did 2 separate measures. They focused one on repairs and updates, and the second one on safety and security. So the projects were repair and update and safety security. Their bond measures were actually both the same size, but their lawn signs were yes on RUST. RUST. But that was all very intentional, right? We planned that. But I'm not saying you have to be that clever, but it is that, right, it's one campaign.
Any other questions? Excellent presentation. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see where we are. We're back to agenda item number 17, educational services. Agenda item 17 is regarding the Williams complaints for the quarterly summary of October 1 through December 31 of 2025. Stacy, do you have anything you want to share with us?
We have no complaints to report.
That's all we need to hear. Thank you. Moving on to item 18, which calls for a mid-year update to local control accountability plan, LCAP, and LCFF overview for parents and dashboard. Stacy, what do you have for us here?
Senate Bill 114 back in 2023. This law was passed so that districts would report to the boards before February 28th of each year to be able to give you mid-year updates on the progress of the metrics as well as the expenditures, which includes the recent information launched on the California dashboard. So the budget overview that you're seeing in the presentation today is not new. This is the one that you approved back in June when you approved the LCAP. However, there will be a revision to these dollars when Connie presents her second interim report. We are confident that very likely the supplemental money is going to increase for us, for our district, and we may even receive concentration dollars. We are anxiously awaiting those numbers to be finalized. So as a reminder, these are our 3 goals within our LCAP. The LCAP is divided up by the metrics and the priorities and the actions for each of the different goals. The first one focusing on student outcomes, the second one on engagement for our families, engagement of our staff members, as well as our students. And goal 3 is related to everything in school climate. So welcoming environments, positive environments, making sure that our school environments are safe and that our students are healthy within our school curriculum. So you received a 33-page report which gives you details on all of the metrics that we have available at this point in the year. Special thanks to Amy Gerling for stepping into a new role of helping me with LCAP metrics this year. And Jen Flores, who also helped put it together in the presentation that you're going to see tonight. So this slide is a summary of all of those metrics that are included within your report, and just a few that I wanted to highlight for us related to Goal 1. Our English language arts and math academic indicator continue to be very high on the California dashboard, where we continue to be green and blue. Last year, you might recall that we were disappointed in our college and career indicator. It was orange last year. It has now significantly increased to blue. So special shout out to all of us who have been looking at that data kind of behind the scenes for especially the high school as it relates to CTE completers, and then also A through G, students that qualified at graduation with A through G requirements. Those things significantly increase, as well as candidates who received the state seal of literacy. So all of those things coupled together help us go from orange to blue. In our indicator for English learner progress, you will see that is yellow. We continue to hold steady right around 54% of our EL students making progress on the LPAC. There was a student group last year which we were recognized by LA County to come out and talk about, which was our long-term English learner group. They were actually scoring within there in the blue category. So all of those students have now reclassified, which is why we have such a high reclassification rate of 26.8, because we had such a significant number of students that scored the highest they could possibly score and had been here for 6 or 7 years within our district. So it helped our reclassification rate go very high. So I can predict that next year we're going to decrease in our reclassification rate, because it was a large bubble of our long-term English learners that were finally able to graduate out of our EL program. So we still have a number of English learners that are not showing the progress that we would like to see. Those that have been here 6 or less years. We expect students to grow at least 1 LPAC level per year, and we have some students that are not quite making that growth that we would like to see. So we've been trying a number of things to try to improve that in the future. And then our graduation rate continues to hold very strong in blue on the California dashboard. These are a couple of the metrics to highlight for Goal 2 as it relates to the local climate survey results. This was the most recent survey that we got the results back. One of them indicates that we asked the families the question of, are you confident in how you can support your child at home related to your child's learning? And we have 89% of our families that agree and strongly disagree with that statement, which holds strong to last year as well. Those numbers are quite similar. However, we can continue to make enhancements to support our newcomer families and how they can support the students within our community who may have a language other than English. We also have seen, when you look at that very top box in the top left, the local survey results where we monitor the percentage of students in which of the different languages they take and the survey in, and we continue to see an increase in our Chinese surveys that are being taken. So we know that we have families that choose to take the survey in Chinese are actually answering the questions in Chinese at a higher rate this year. However, our 2% did go down for our Spanish-speaking families. And then finally for Goal 3, you can see our suspension indicator is holding at green on our dashboard, which is great. Our expulsion rate continues to be very low. Our local climate survey results show that our students are feeling safe at school. And this is a top question when we visit the campuses, that we ask the students to explain why they ranked around 84%, right? So that means we could do a little better. So tell us a little bit about what it could look like to make your campus feel even more safe. And they give us great feedback and great ideas on how to be able to improve that. And then also, this question, we continue to try to figure out the way to ask it, because the results that we see in the percentage rates are not the same types of results we see when we talk to students about it. So the question is, I have one staff member that I can go to if I need to talk about something or get help. And only about 59% of our students will say often or always on the survey. But when we go and we talk with students, every single one of them are able to answer at least one staff member that they feel connected to. So there is definitely a disconnect in how we ask this question and how students are able to answer us in person, because we feel like this number is reflected really low in the data. So we'll keep working on that. So as you go through the mid-year report, we have to give information on whether or not we feel that we have fully implemented the strategy, partially implemented the strategy, if it's planned, or if it has not been implemented at all. And this does not necessarily have to do with expenditures. It could be that there might be things we haven't spent any money on, but we were still able to fully implement it because it just didn't cost us anything. So those things are not necessarily connected. So just to save on time, I'm not going to go through every single action and activity that's listed in the LCAP, but I did want to note some of them where maybe we were partially implemented, or you might have some questions about the dollars. So when looking at 1.3, the TK3 reading initiative, this is partially implemented because our teachers this year are implementing a new screener, the Amira screener, for grades K through 2, and that is just starting right now. So they have been trained, and now we're just barely getting started with having them use that screener to help identify students in the lower grades who might have some reading difficulties. And then there's still conversations about what do we do with that data and how do we support those students once we get that information. And then also 1.7, you'll notice for summer school there are $0 there. And that's because we haven't had summer school yet. So that's one of those things that we will see reflected probably at the very end of the year in the budget as we start to buy things. So it's also noted that these dollars that you're looking at were right before the holiday break. So we started to look at the numbers around December 15th. And so this accounts for expenditures that have made it all the way through the books, meaning nothing is encumbered. These things have actually happened and expenditures have been paid. So you can imagine there's still a lot more expenditures to come. This kind of feels like very early on in the school year. So that was the first half of the actions in Goal 1. This is the second half of the actions because there's 19 of them within Goal 1. And so wanted to point out the multilingual pathways, which is 1.13. We have about $323,000 that were budgeted there, but we've only spent $64,583. These were supplemental dollars that we had set aside in hopes of hiring the first grade Mandarin speaking teacher early. And we still haven't hired someone, but we have someone that we've offered the job, so we're hoping that they're going to accept. So that's why that number might be a little bit lower. And then also the 1.18 advanced placement exam fees. We will expend this full dollar amount. You're only seeing 209 here, but we offset the cost of AP exams for our EL and low income and foster families at the high school. Those test fees have already been waived. The high school already has the list of all the students. Again, that's a good example of something that just hasn't hit the books yet. So moving to Goal 2. When you take a look at this particular slide, what I wanted to note was the professional development in the last 3 you see partially implemented. We've been offering quite a few professional development opportunities this year with sub pull-out days, focusing primarily on English learners, but we still have our professional development day coming up on February 17th. So there's been lots of conversations and planning going into that particular day, so we're partially implemented knowing that that is still pending. And then continuing on to the second half of the actions in Goal 2, wanted to point out the $0 in 2.18. So this is a good example of a change that happens kind of towards the end of the process where LACO will ask us to add something into our LCAP plan that we didn't really have conversations about with our educational partners. And so because LTELs, the long-term English learners, became a student group last year, what LACO noticed was that we didn't have a particular action that spoke specifically to LTELs. So they asked us to add that in. And so when you look at 2.11, language acquisition and ELD professional development, that is where we were used to spending the money for that particular goal. And so we're exhausting that 211 first before we spend 218, but essentially it's the same professional development, right? Because LTELs are included within the EL population. So just know the 0 does not reflect that we haven't been offering PD, it's just been getting charged to a different LCAP action. And then finally, LCAP Goal 3, this is the one related to our school environments. And so just wanted to note that we've already expended 3.14 for student safety. This is the money that we had set aside for cameras on campuses to be able to do some upgrades. And I know that Moises and Daryl came to you and shared with you the safety presentation and a lot of the safety pieces that we've been putting into place. And so essentially we have spent the money that we set aside for safety practices that we wanted to do this year. And so cameras are expensive, and so you can see that we've already exhausted that. So we put that on hold and continue to look for next year of what projects we will take on next. So then finally, this is just a summary of the LCAP process of all of the things that we've been doing since the start of the school year. We hold our parent advisory committee meetings. You can see the ones that have already been held. DLAC also plays an important role in giving input into the LCAP. And we have started all of the surveys to be able to get information from the educational partners. And the principals will be taking their survey data and will be doing site meetings. So where you see the January and February purple square, they will start to meet with their ELACs and their school site councils to share out information of their survey results, because we want families to get the feedback of what the survey actually said, to thank them for doing the survey. And then upcoming things are our continued PAC and DLAC meetings for the rest of the year, and then also the board presentations that will come to you in the month of June. So that is it for my presentation.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Stacy? Good to see you. Great presentation. Good information. Thank you. Okay, we are on to item number 19, discussion and action portion of our agenda. Item 19 calls for the adoption of resolution. Item 19 calls for the adoption of resolution 2526-15 proclaiming the week of February 2nd through 6th, 2006 as the week of school counselor. And this is being, Art has asked us to approve this. He's not here, obviously, but I think this is pretty standard, so.
I'll move.
Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion from member Georgino, and a second from member Espinosa. This is a vote. So for a preferential vote for student Munoz.
Yes.
Okay. Member Espinosa.
Yes.
Member Sneed.
Yes.
Member Bill.
Yes.
Member Espinosa. Oops. Georgino.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well, so the motion carries 5-0. Okay. Moving on to item 20, same issue. This is calls for the adoption of resolution 2526-16, recognizing Black History Month, a century of Black History commemorations. And I'm going to go ahead and ask for a call for the vote.
I'll motion.
Okay, heard a motion from member Espinosa. Second. From Xavier and Munoz. So I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Student board member Munoz.
Yes.
Okay. Member Sneed.
Yes.
Member Bill.
Yes.
Member Espinosa.
Yes.
Member Georgino.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well, so the motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 21, calls for the adoption of resolution 2526-17, recognizing Lunar New Year. Same spot again. I'm just go ahead and call for a motion and a second.
So moved.
I'll move.
Okay, I heard a motion from member Sneed and a second from member Bill. And I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Munoz.
Yes.
Okay. Member Bill.
Yes.
Member Espinosa.
Yes.
Member Georgino.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and member Sneed.
Yes.
Okay, so motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Moving down to item 22, which calls for motion to receive board policy for first reading. These are for BP 0450 Comprehensive Safety Plan, BP 5116.1 Intra-District Open Enrollment, and BP 5117 Intra-District Attendance. May I have a motion and a second to approve, please?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion from member Georgino, second from member Bill. Any comments or questions on this? I don't think so. Okay, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Munoz?
Yes.
And for everybody else, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the motion carries 5-0. Moving down to item 23, which calls for a motion to receive board policy for second reading and approve. And these are for BP 5146, married/pregnant/parenting students, BP 6159, individualized education program, and BP 6159.2, non-public, non-secretarial school and agency services for special education. May I have a motion and a second to approve, please?
I'll second.
Wait a second.
It was
Member Sneed.
It was Stephen and me.
And then Member Espinosa. Any comments, questions? No, hearing none, I'll go ahead and call the vote. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
Okay, and for the rest of you, please, if you're in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And motion carries 5-0. Now on item 24, which calls for a motion to receive mid-year update to the local control accountability plan and the local control funding formula budget overview for parents and dashboard update. May I have a motion to approve, please?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion from Member Georgina, second from Member Bill. Are there any comments or questions for Stacy? No? I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
Okay, and for the rest of you, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to item 25, which calls for a motion to approve the 24-25 school accountability report cards. And I'm going to ask Stacy to give us some information before we take the vote. Stacy?
Yes, so every year around this time, we are required to bring the school accountability report cards to the board to approve. The majority of the metrics that are held within this year's SARC is from last school year, so it gives the most recent information from the previous school year. Student Support Services Office, Daryl and Cindy do a good job at preparing these for the principals to be able to take a look at their data and review each year. So thank you to them for all of the hard work that they did to get these on the board agenda today.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions? No? No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. And Student Member Munoz?
Yes.
Oh, that would help. Thank you very much. I need a motion and a second.
I'll motion.
Motion from Member Espinosa and a second from
Donna.
Member Georgina. Now we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
And the rest of you, please say aye. Support? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries 5-0. Let's see, moving down to business services, item 26, which calls for a motion to adopt resolution 2526-18, designation of applicants, agent, resolution, non-state agencies of FEMA. So this calls for some narrative from Connie. Connie?
Yes, as I mentioned in my update, this is one of the documentation required by the California Office of Emergency Service as a process to process the payment for reimbursement for our windstorm damage.
Okay. Any comments or questions for Connie?
Out of curiosity, how much are we hoping to get reimbursed?
So the deductible is $10,000 and then oh, okay. The deductible for our insurance is $10,000, but however, during the process, I realized that the state are also going to reimburse us for the overhead costs, which means my time and my assist time to application. So we will add another $7,000. So it's keeping have more money coming.
Like that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Connie? No? Then I'd like to have a motion and a second.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Member Espinosa and second from Member Bill. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
Okay, and the rest of this is going to be individual votes. So Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Member Georgina?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Member Sneed?
Yes.
And Member Bill? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
Motion carried. I heard you. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Moving down to item 27, which calls for a motion to accept the 24-25 financial statement audit report. Before I ask for a motion, I'm going to ask Connie.
Yeah. Board, I haven't presented the audit report before, but with the rule regulation changes, the audit process becomes tougher and tougher. So I just did a quick presentation, share with the board what is the audit for, including financial statement audit and our measure as audit. Because as board know that at the end of 24-25, we did spend the bond, and then we issue another bond. So just give the board an overview, a recap. Okay. So for financial statement, we talk about the scope of audit and the component of the financial statement and what type of financial statement and what the auditor findings. So with the new for the 24-25 school year, there's a new regulation change, especially the GASB 101. GASB 101 basically revised the GASB 6, which means that the required district to report the cumulative employees compensated absence, which means is the sick leave vacation. So we have to report, for the final audit financial statement, we have to report the cumulative audit classified employee, their unused, unpaid vacation leave balance, their sick leave, as well as certificate employees' sick leave. It requires the actuary study, but because we are lucky, we have an expert we hired, and then he actually did the information for the audit. So we saved hired the consultant for the actuary studies. So the scope of the audit is in the 4 areas. They talk about the district financial statement, the audit will issue opinion, and also the internal control over the financial statement as well as compliance. It's also audited the federal program and state program. The federal program, state program audit guide is different, so they also look at this 2 areas. For the Measure S, there's 2 areas of audit. One is the financial statement, one is the performance audit. So combine the 2 reports. I just do the one presentation for the next 2 items, so just to let board know. So for the audit report, you have almost under 100 pages audit report, but on the first couple of pages, basically is the audit's opinion for their audit. So our audit did issue the unmodified opinion, which means that it's clean opinion, which is the financial statement is fair present according to the state or federal guidelines. And the audit report is specifically say that the prepared financial statement is a management responsibility. Main is me and the business service department because it's a segregation of duty. So they are not coming here to the management level and they are the auditors. So that's why they are responsibility pure audit. The prepared financial statement and the oversight the internal control district is actually management function, is a district responsibility. The next one is the management discussion, and I have separate slides. Is basically a recap of the 24-25 financial statement. I think it's very important for us to review where we come from. And then there's a lot of financial report, talk about government, talk about enterprise, and then a lot of time when I comes to the district, the first thing I look at is financial statement, noted to financial statement. Because a lot of the district operation, the programs, the nature is under the notes. And then the other supplementary information lists the various programs. So financial highlight I talk about in the measurement in DMA, normally we list the highlight for the school year, for the 24-25. So in the 24-25 school year, we have a lowest score for that year is 1.07%. And then the year before is higher, and even 25-26 is higher. 25 times we're talking about 2.41%. So our enrollment is at 5,029.8. It is a little bit high compared with this year. And there we have our after-school program, which is the Mickey's Fund to Work program, and our child nutrition program, which is the school meal program, is end of the year very strong. So in that year, we also completed the next generation science textbook adoption, which means that we're not only adopt and we paid off all the bills. So in last year, we also spent almost all the COVID state and federal funding. So, and there also the Measure S, the high school sports complex project. We kick off in June 7, 2024, and most of the work done in 24-25, and the projects continue to this year. So this is talk about the summary, the financial statement. So we talk about the finding, the financial statement under audit unmodified, this is why I say this is a clean report, because unmodified opinion, no report for the significant deficiency, and the federal award and the state award are both non-reportable, non-modified, and everything's clean, fine. And then also the audit findings, there's no audit findings. So next one we talk about the bond, financial and the performance bond. So bond financial, what I mean that we spend money at the end of the last school year is we spent $2.8 million. The money spent on the TCH sports complex project. So the balance is zero. And then our assets is only the accounts payable, which is the bill we have not paid. So basically, we spend most of the program money. The performance audit basically is say that how is the district use the money appropriately based on the measure aspect. But as a result is yes, we're probably coding the expenditure and the money all spent on the project, not for our operation, not for any employees' salaries. So any question for the audit report?
Questions? Okay, thank you. So, okay, so item 20. Item 27 calls for motion to accept the 24-25 financial statement. And we've heard presentations from comments, so I need a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Motion from member Georgino and a second from member Bell. We talked about it, so I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
Okay, and for the rest of us, please say aye. Do you agree? Aye. Okay, motion passes 5-0. And then we're moving on to item 28.
Is the measures.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and call for a motion in a second. Motion from member Sneed.
I'll second.
Second from member Espinoza. Any comments or questions? No? Can go ahead and call for the vote then. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
And for the rest of us, please say aye. Aye. Okay, the motion carries 5-0. And then moving down to item 29. We have a motion and a second on this item, please.
Is that number 29?
It's number 29, yes. Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is the developer fee, and the state, every other years, they will list the developer fee and recommend the dollar amount for both residential and commercial. So we are required to do the developer fee justification study. So we go out for submit an RFP for 8 company, and 4 company respond their proposal to our ISP. We evaluate the proposal submitted based on their completeness, relevant experience, and the required scope of work and cost reasonableness. And we pick up the Cooper and the Gravel, their experience and their experience is outstanding and their price is reasonable. So the $6,000 is the fee plus the $500 out-of-pocket cost, and then this is the best price we received, and then the payment should be coming from the developer fee we collected.
All right, with that, I'm going to go with this wax on. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion in a second, please.
Second.
Motion from member Espinoza and a second from member Bell.
I wanted to ask a question.
Please do.
Connie, how often do we have to do these?
This proposal, we have, this is the second time I come here because we are not happy the vendor we had. So that's why we do this.
Oh, okay, we don't have to do like a set time period?
No, we don't because as far as, I'm sorry. As far as the vendor doing a good job, we normally continue to renew the service agreement, but we were not very happy for the service we had for last vendor.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. And Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
And the rest of us, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, with that, we're moving on to the consent agenda, and the consent agenda includes routine items approved by one motion and one vote, unless a member of the board or the audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. Is there any interest in voting upon anything separately? Okay, not hearing any, I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion in the second and vote for the consent agenda.
I'll move.
Motion from members Sneed, second from member Georgino. Student Board Member Munoz?
Yes.
Yes. And the rest, please say aye.
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 Okay, 5-0 and approved on the consent agenda. With that, we are on to item number 40, board comments. Does anybody have anything they want to share? They didn't have some business, did they? Okay. No? Then we're going to move on to 41, which has no items for a future agenda at this point in time. Is there something anybody has a desire to make sure we talk about in the future? Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to item 42, which calls for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. So may I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Motion from Member Munoz.
I'll second.
Second from Member Espinoza. Student Board Member Munoz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. And everybody else, please say aye.
Aye.
You guys see?
Yes.
You would. All right, that motion carries and the board meeting is now adjourned. Thank you. 8:03.